Stripes RC here with you tonight with 70mm FMS Viper, which I will preparing to do a rescheme on. And I just wanted to do a short video on removing the decals on it prior to priming and painting. There's videos on my channel. If you scroll down there and look, my buddy Joe Ray, he did a rescheme on a P47, and he helped me do the rescheme on my 1700mm P51. So there's videos on my channel for that. I just wanted to show you on the decals. When you're removing those, so you want to have you an X-Acto knife, something with the sharp point, and you want to get just underneath enough to peel, get that started. Where you can grab it. Now, one thing we did on the others was you can use Windex, which will activate that adhesive. It will make it easier to peel off without damaging the foam. You don't want to just rip it off, because then you're gonna have that little fuzzy stuff. And if you've ever redone or removed stickers, you probably experienced that. But you don't want to just rip it off. You want to pull it flush with the pull it back flush instead of pulling it out, and so that way you don't damage that foam. As you can see, it's really smooth there. There's no none of that fuzzy stuff sticking out. So this I don't believe is going to require any filling and sanding. I will take some of this denatured alcohol prior to priming it and smoothing out the edges of the paint where the decals did come off. Then I'll prime it, and if I need to do any light sanding on these areas where the decals, where I've taken those off, I'll do that. I may light sand that I'll light sand it actually prior to priming it, and then resand it if I need to. It just depends on how smooth it is. So you can see how that came off really clean. No damage to the foam at all. There's just, like I said, the little rough edges around where the decal was, which the denatured alcohol will smooth that out. You know, and take care of that. Sometimes it's good to use the Windex. It just, you know, you got to feel it out, and if you feel like that when you're pulling that decal off, that it's starting to pull foam away from the plane, then as you pull it back, spray some Windex in there, let it soak in there good, and then continue to peel that off. Like I said, I haven't run into that problem where I had to use the Windex. You like Joe Ray told me, you have to go slow and be patient with it, and just kind of work it and keep it close to the plane so that it doesn't pull that foam out on you. Like, you can kind of work it back and forth like that. I won't divulge my scheme. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I do know what colors I'm going to be using. And so the next video you see will actually be the end result. You can see on the rudder here where it's the decal was placed kind of not real well, so it came off kind of rough on there. But I noticed on here I had a crack in this. How that happened, I don't know. But what I'm going to probably end up doing is I've got a spare rudder, so I'll end up using this rudder instead of that one. So there won't be any prep work I need to do on this other than just prime it. So I'll use that rudder on it. But you can see I've got all the decals off, so now it's just a matter of smoothing out the edges on all that, doing a little bit of light sanding, and then shooting the primer, which I'll be using a flat white primer, because I'm going to be using bright colors, or one or two colors that are a bright color. So it's best, in my experience anyway, or my advice from others, when you're using bright colors like yellow or white or orange, to primer it white so that those colors stand out. If you was to paint orange over this blue, then that'll affect the true color of that orange. So, or even if you primered it gray and painted the orange on the gray primer, it's going to affect the true color of that orange versus if you have white primer underneath. So that's what I'm going to do. And so hopefully in about 4 or 5 days, I'll have the end result, and I'll shoot a video out there with the rescheme. Thanks for watching.